A 15-year-old girl ran away from home with $100 and a Hollywood dream, only to die alone in a lavish mansion, beside an empty bottle of sleeping pills and a letter no one was allowed to read. Carole Landis, the pin-up star who captivated thousands of American soldiers, once shone like the brightest spotlight, but her heart broke under harsh judgments and a forbidden love with Rex Harrison, who promised her the world. On the night of July 4th, 1948, after a heated argument, she collapsed on the bathroom floor. A letter to Harrison vanished, rumored to have been destroyed by him. Suicide for love, or a secret buried by Hollywood. The studio locked the truth away, but Carole's eyes still tell an unfinished story. Closed doors, whispers in the dark, and a letter erased. Are you ready to uncover the mystery behind her death? Chapter 1. A craving for love pushes Carole into tragedy. Picture a young girl fleeing a rundown Wisconsin home, carrying a glittering Hollywood dream, only to die alone in a grand Pacific Palisades mansion. Carole Landis, Hollywood's icy light, a radiant star whose smile hit a broken heart. Born on January 1st, 1919. Carole grew up in the shadow of poverty. Her father, Alfred Ridsty, abandoned the family at her birth. Her mother, Clara, a strong Polish woman, toiled to raise 5 children, but fate was cruel. In 1924, Carole's brother, Louis, only 11, was killed in a shooting accident. The small house on Bryant Street reeked of smoke and tears. No one knows exactly what happened in the dark corners of that home, but a few lines on a 2020 forum mentioned a man with a key to Carole's room. No one could verify it. Her birth certificate was altered, no one knows why. And when she died, hospital records vanished within 48 hours. These secrets seemed to deepen her loneliness. Carole, or Baby Doll as her mother called her, plastered Carole Lombard's photos on her wall. Hollywood was her only escape, where she believed love and fame would erase her past. At 15, Carole left it all behind. She dyed her hair blonde, took the name Carole Landis, and boarded a bus to San Francisco. She danced hula, sang in bars. Each night was a performance, her eyes unable to hide old pain. With $100 saved from tips, she arrived in Los Angeles, carrying a big dream and a fragile heart. But Hollywood wasn't paradise. It was a dangerous game, where powerful men like Rex Harrison lay in wait. Carole didn't know her dream would lead to false promises, tearful nights, and a destroyed farewell letter. Each step brought her closer to disaster. Rex Harrison would come later. But first, there was a diary, a lingering question, and a tear-soaked pillow. Carole left home seeking love and fame. But was Hollywood a trap waiting to ensnare her? Chapter 2. Dazzling fame and the long shadow of scandal. Hollywood opened its doors with a golden contract, but behind the stage lights, Carole Landis learned her first lesson: this place wasn't for the faint of heart. In 1936, the 18-year-old arrived in Los Angeles, carrying a radiant dream and a fragile heart. Her smile could melt ice. But Hollywood wasn't just glamour, it was a maze of shadows. She signed with Warner Brothers, landing small roles like in A Star is Born, but keeping that contract, she soon realized, required more than talent. The casting couch culture lurked like a beast in the dark, demanding more than just her smile. Her big break came in 1940 with 1 Million B.C. Playing a prehistoric girl in a skimpy outfit, she drove audiences wild. The press dubbed her the new sex symbol, nicknaming her the Ping Girl, a nod to the allure that made men's hearts ping. But Carole wanted to be more than a figure. She refused to appear at a studio premiere. A friend said she stood frozen in a meeting room, tears streaming, whispering something no one caught. The studio was furious, but the public adored her beauty. The press, however, was ruthless, branding her a man-eater, turning every step into a vicious headline. The first scandal erupted when she dated powerful director Busby Berkeley. Their romance was a flame, bright but quick to burn her. Her ex-husband, Irving Wheeler, sued Berkeley for $250,000, claiming he stole her, though the lawsuit was dismissed. Carole's reputation was tarnished. Whispers from jealous studio wives echoed through Hollywood. One night, she sat alone in her dressing room, clutching a folded newspaper and a lighter. A photo of herself burned halfway, smoke rising like a silent cry for help. Stranger still. A crew member said that after the lawsuit. Carole got a late-night anonymous call, a cold voice warning, "Leave Hollywood, or you'll pay a steeper price." No one knew who was behind it. Some whispered the studio paid to hush the scandal, but the truth was buried. The press's knives and judgmental stares cut deep into Carole's heart. She felt like a beautiful doll, pulled from a box and discarded, a friend recalled. She started locking her door every night, like she wanted to keep the world out. But loneliness didn't relent. She sat in the dark, staring at her pin-up photos, wondering if anyone saw the real her. Each headline was a wound, each flash a reminder she was an image, not a person. Carole was more vulnerable than ever. The vicious whispers tore her from reality, making her crave a man who could see her soul, not just her body. Then Rex Harrison appeared, a man with promises of love, but also a trap. When she met him, she thought he was her escape from the knives, but perhaps she was only stepping closer to a destroyed farewell letter and a mystery Hollywood never wanted revealed. Carole touched the spotlight, but why did her heart remain lost in the dark amid cheers, flashes, and embraces that never warmed her? Chapter 3: First Steps into a Deadly Romance. Carole Landis married 4 times, divorced 4 times, but she never wore a white dress without tears. Each vow was a promise that shattered, leaving deeper scars than Hollywood's flashes. Her heart, once as radiant as the spotlight, was slowly consumed by shadows, leading her to a man, Rex Harrison, and an unsolved mystery. At 15, Carole wed Irving Wheeler, a 19-year-old, hoping youth would free her from Wisconsin's rundown home. But the dream crumbled after 3 weeks. She left, abandoning a cramped apartment and a meaningless ring. A friend said. Carole stood before a mirror, slipping off the ring, eyes red like she'd lost the world. After the divorce, a small suitcase was found in her room's corner, filled with torn letter scraps. No one knew what she wrote or to whom. Then came Thomas Wallace, an Air Force captain she met on a 1943 USO tour. He was her greatest love. In a letter found later, Carole wrote, "I loved Tommy with the part of my soul I didn't keep for myself, but war and Hollywood pulled them apart." Wallace wanted her to quit the stage. Carole couldn't abandon her dream. When they divorced in 1945, she was seen alone at Union Station, clutching a torn photo. No one knew who the other half was. The deepest wound came from Darryl Zanuck, 20th Century Fox's mogul. Not love, but power. Zanuck promised big roles, but when Carole refused to trade further, she was relegated to B movies, a crew member said. She sat in her dressing room, staring in the mirror, hands shaking as she read articles calling her a man-eater. The press painted her as a homewrecker, but she was the one hurt. Each criticism was a blade, cutting into her belief she deserved love. Logic suggests her romantic failures and Hollywood's harsh judgments made Carole vulnerable to Rex Harrison's charm. She longed for a man to see her true self, not just her figure, but Harrison. With sweet promises, was another trap. When she met him, she thought it was the end of her pain, but months later, a farewell letter was destroyed without a trace, and Harrison's eyes that night remain a mystery. Carole gave her heart so many times, but why were Rex Harrison's eyes the last she saw? Chapter 4: A War Hero in Hollywood's Shadows. Carole Landis made 60,000 American soldiers smile, but at night, she cried alone in a dark room, a bitter sleeping pill on her tongue. During World War II, she was a light amid bombs, traveling over 125,000 miles, singing in shattered warehouses, hugging wounded soldiers in field hospitals. One rainy night in Sicily, Carole sang through the downpour, shoes soaked, lipstick smeared. She still smiled. Backstage, she huddled, coughing, then quietly swallowed a white pill. She always smiled, but her eyes were exhausted. A USO member said, "The war took more than Carole had. She battled malaria, pneumonia, and ulcers. Sleepless nights drove her to sleeping pills to escape the pain. Hollywood didn't ease up either. After rejecting Daryl Zanuck, 20th Century Fox's Titan, she was pushed into B movies. The press wrote, "She's a bright star." But her heart breaks in the dark. The public loved her pinup photos, but no one saw her tremble reading articles calling her a man-eater. Post-war, a thank you letter from the president was meant for Carole but never reached her. It was found in the studio's mailbox, torn in half, unexplained. Did the studio hide her glory to keep her in a sexy cage? Exhaustion and those white pills made Carole fragile. When a woman relies on sleeping pills nightly, it's easy to mistake love's illusion for the real thing, and Rex Harrison appeared at that moment, with promises sweet as stage lights. Long nights, cruel articles, and failing health pushed Carole into Harrison's arms. She sought refuge in him, someone to see her true self. But was it a trap? Each pill, each forced smile, was a step closer to a destroyed farewell letter. She gave her smile to every soldier, but no one saw the darkness behind her eyes, and no one stopped her from walking toward it one last time. Carole gave everything for the troops, but why didn't anyone see her fading in her own light? Chapter 5, A Forbidden Love and a Secret Letter. They called it Forbidden Love, but for Carole Landis, it was the first time she thought someone loved her for herself, not her body, not her fame. In 1947, she fell for Rex Harrison, a married star with a wife, Lily Palmer, in Beverly Hills' lavish mansions, under the dim lights of discreet hotels. Carole whispered to a friend, "This time, maybe I found someone real." But no one knew if it was hope or her final illusion. The press didn't forgive. They branded her a homewrecker, each headline a sharp knife. Carole and Harrison met in secret, hiding their love behind closed doors. But Hollywood had 1,000 eyes. Every time they left a room, flashes waited. Each kiss fueled tabloid stories. A crumpled letter, rumored to be in Carole's safe, was addressed to Harrison, filled with desperate words about their love. But when police arrived, the safe was empty. Harrison never spoke of it. A friend said, "She wrote something that scared him," but no one read it. Did the letter reveal a bigger secret about him? Her? Or Hollywood itself? On July 4th, 1948, Carole hosted a party at her Pacific Palisades mansion. She made salad, cold chicken, and homemade lemon pie, as if crafting a perfect moment. But she asked guests to leave early, clearing space for Harrison, under candlelight. They dined. The air was heavy. A waiter recalled. They argued fiercely, Carole's eyes full of despair. She wanted Harrison to leave his wife, to prove his love. He refused, his voice cold as stone. She believed a dinner, a promise, could save her life. But if that promise was a lie, was the ending staged? That dinner was the final spark. The press kept vilifying her, calling her a loose woman. The public loved her beauty, but no one saw her tremble at those headlines. A friend said, she locked herself in her room, staring in the mirror, like she was searching for another version of herself. Carole gave her heart to Harrison, hoping he'd be the one who wouldn't break her. But his cold, distant eyes that night signaled a coming tragedy. The destroyed letter was the key, but it vanished, along with the truth. Carole gave her heart to Harrison, but who tore it from her hands in that dim mansion that night? She bet everything on Harrison. But why did his eyes feel like a final verdict? Chapter 6, A Vanished Letter and a Cold Bathroom Floor. On the night of July 4th, 1948, after Rex Harrison left Carole Landis's mansion, darkness swallowed her. On the table, a photo frame lay face down. A pillow held the scent of her perfume. A crumpled paper sat beside a half-empty wine glass. Carole wrote a letter to her mother. "Dear Mom, I'm sorry. I love you and the family so much." But another letter, to Harrison, was rumored to hold the truth about their relationship. She took 40 Seconal pills, 5 times a lethal dose, and collapsed on the bathroom floor, where the last light went out. The pill bottle lay in the trash, under tissues as if someone tidied up or hid something. The next morning, housekeeper Fannie Mae Balden entered the unnaturally quiet house. Harrison called near noon. No ambulance, no pounding on the door, just silence. Then he called the studio. Why, with Balden. He found Carole on the bathroom floor. The housekeeper said he wasn't panicked, repeating, "This can't get out." The letter to Harrison, rumored to be in the safe, was gone, a friend said. It held something that terrified him, but no one saw it. Her father, Alfred Ridsty, insisted, "My girl would never take her own life." The press reported, "Star suicides for love," but details didn't add up. The pill bottle in the trash, the empty safe, Harrison's calm, on Quora. Some speculated 20th Century Fox's fixers staged the scene to protect Harrison. A crew member said, "The house was crawling with studio people before the police arrived, like they were erasing traces. Did Carole really kill herself from heartbreak? Or was her death staged to hide a bigger secret?" The destroyed letter was the mystery's heart. It might have been her final plea or a truth that scared Hollywood. The pieces never fit together. Carole was declared a suicide for love. But what if it was staged? What if the letter wasn't just about love, but a secret someone wanted buried forever? Carole fell on that cold floor. But did Harrison and Hollywood hide something behind that mansion's doors? Epilogue: Carole's light and the lingering mystery. Carole Landis left no masterpiece, just her eyes in black and white photos, a silent star on the Walk of Fame, and a letter no one read. She appeared in nearly 50 films, from 1 Million B.C. to I Wake Up Screaming, but none became classics. Her 1960 Walk of Fame star and 4 Jills in a Jeep book are faint traces. She was a pin-up icon, enchanting thousands of soldiers, but Hollywood turned its back, letting her sink into darkness. On X, a fan wrote, "She was a victim of the studio system, a flower crushed under power's heel." Her 1948 death sparked debate about mental health and Hollywood's exploitative culture. She was a victim of a world judging women by their figures and private lives. The press called her a man-eater, but she was the one hunted by judgments. By men like Darryl Zanuck and Rex Harrison. A paper, worth $500 not for its words, but for what it could ignite in Hollywood's empire. Lily Palmer, Harrison's wife, admitted paying to retrieve Carole's letter, but its contents stayed secret. A friend said it was something Harrison feared, but the studio made it disappear when the bank sealed Carole's account. Only $412 remained, not enough for her funeral. Her family sold her jewelry. Each piece taken felt like losing a part of Carole. Her mother, Clara, stood silent by glittering dresses, tears falling as they were auctioned to strangers. With massive debts, they sold the Pacific Palisades mansion where she fell, but nothing could bring her back. Carole's story warns of fame's cost. She craved love, but Hollywood wanted her body. Gender pressures, harsh criticism, and Harrison's betrayal pushed her into darkness. A friend once wondered, if she'd been loved right, would she still be here? The mystery of the lost letter haunts. It might have been a plea or a truth that panicked Hollywood. If Carole left a secret in that letter, who kept it hidden? And why think about it? One letter could topple an entertainment empire. Share your thoughts in the comments. Hollywood called her a man-eater, but they were the hunters, and Carole was the most beautiful prey they silenced.